Today we're talking about a rock named Asteroid 99942 Apophis, named after the Egyptian god of chaos. And for a little while there, it really seemed like it was going to live up to that name. For a moment, it was pretty much the most feared object in our solar system. We literally had a potential collision date circled on the calendar. But that initial panic? That was just the beginning of the story. And to really get a sense of the stakes here, you just have to look at this quote from Dr. S. Somanath, the chairman of ISRO, India's space agency. He's not mincing words. This is exactly why space agencies all over the world pour resources into something called planetary defense. The threat of a big one hitting us is very, very real. But here's the twist. Even with that serious warning, scientists today are absolutely certain that Apophis, the supposed god of chaos, won't hit us. Not for at least 100 years. So how on earth did we go from a full-blown doomsday scenario to a collective sigh of relief? Let's break down how it all happened. Okay, so our story kicks off back when the asteroid was first found, and an early prediction sent, let's just say, some serious shock waves through the entire astronomy world. So it was first spotted in June of 2004, and they named it Apophis after this ancient Egyptian god of chaos, who was basically a mythical serpent trying to swallow the sun every night. A bit on the nose, right? Well, for a few terrifying days, it looked like this rock was going to live up to its very ominous reputation. Things escalated fast. I mean, breathtakingly fast. Just a couple of days before Christmas in 2004, a real panic started to set in among scientists. The odds of it hitting us in 2029 went from 1 in 233 to a startling 1 in 62 in a matter of hours. That sent its rating on the Torino scale, which is how we classify these hazards, from a 2 all the way up to a 4. That's a level of concern nobody had ever seen before. And for one brief, terrifying moment, the probability of an impact actually hit 2.7%. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a huge number, but in cosmic terms, for an object big enough to cause devastation on a continental scale, those are absolutely staggering odds. It earned Apophis that level 4 on the Torino scale, the highest rating ever given to any asteroid in history. But then, just as quickly as the panic started, the story takes a turn. This is the part where cool-headed, methodical science from all around the globe turned that fear back into fact. And you can see the whole scientific process right here in this table. With every new piece of data, the chance of an impact just plummeted. That initial 2029 threat, it was ruled out within days. And it's because astronomers found what they call pre-covery images. Basically, they dug through old photos of the sky and found pictures of Apophis from before it was officially discovered. That longer timeline allowed them to calculate its orbit with way more precision. And then, radar observations over the next few years knocked out any lingering risk for 2036. Now, one of the biggest wildcards in all of this was this really subtle force called the Yarkovsky effect. The easiest way to think about it is like a tiny natural rocket engine. See, as the asteroid spins, one side gets heated by the sun. As it rotates away, it radiates that heat back into space. And that radiation gives it a teeny tiny push. It's minuscule, but over decades, that tiny push can change an asteroid's path by hundreds of kilometers, making it a real headache for long-term predictions. So once scientists finally got a handle on the Yarkovsky effect for Apophis and combined that with powerful new radar data, NASA was able to make it official in March 2021, 0 chance of impact for at least the next 100 years. The myth of the doomsday asteroid was officially busted by better science. So if Apophis isn't a threat anymore, why are we still so obsessed with it? Well, because it's about to put on the most breathtaking celestial show, maybe ever. We're talking about the closest flyby of an asteroid this big that has ever been predicted. Get this, on Friday, April 13th, 2029, and yes, you heard that right, Friday the 13th, Apophis is going to fly so close to Earth that it will actually pass inside the ring of our highest satellites, the ones that handle our weather and communications. In space terms, that is an unbelievably close shave. Let's just put that into perspective for a second. Our geostationary satellites orbit at almost 36,000 kilometers up. Apophis will fly by closer than that. And the moon is more than 10 times farther away. This is really, truly a once-in-a-civilization kind of event. And here is the absolute coolest part. For billions of people across Europe,
Africa, and Western Asia, Apophis will be bright enough to see with your own eyes. No telescope needed. It'll look like a star-like point of light, just steadily moving across the constellations. You'll be able to just look up and watch a 370-meter-wide piece of the solar system cruise right by our planet.
But this flyby is so much more than just a light show. For scientists, it is an absolutely unprecedented opportunity to learn. See, we have these models of what Apophis might be like, and a lot of scientists think it's not a solid chunk of rock. They think it's what's called a rubble pile, basically a loose collection of boulders and gravel held together by its own weak gravity. And as it zips by us, Earth's immense gravity is going to yank on it, possibly triggering landslides on its surface or even shifting how it's all put together inside. We get to watch an asteroid get a physical stress test in real time. And we won't just be watching from down here. A whole international armada of spacecraft is getting ready for a front-row seat. NASA's OSIRIS-APEX spacecraft, fresh off its mission to bring back a piece of another asteroid, is actually going to go meet up with Apophis and study it up close for 18 months. And the European Space Agency and other partners around the world, including ISRO, are all planning their own missions and observation campaigns. So really, the whole world is watching. This event has become about something so much bigger than just one asteroid. It's become a focal point for planetary defense and a test of our ability to work together on a global scale. And that brings us right back to where we started, with those words from ISRO's chairman, Dr. Somanath. The story of Apophis has completely transformed. It went from a story of potential disaster to one of profound opportunity, a chance for us to practice protecting our home planet together. And India is a huge part of this effort. Through its NETRA project, that stands for Network for Space Object Tracking and Analysis, ISRO is actively monitoring Apophis and contributing critical data to that worldwide network that keeps an eye on the sky for us, watching for any future threats. In the end, Apophis isn't the villain of this story at all. It's the ultimate sparring partner. It's giving us a priceless chance to test our tracking systems, our scientific models, and our international partnerships. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question to think about. Apophis is just the dress rehearsal. Are we ready for the real thing?